Bitcoin is an international asset. BlackRock CEO's bullish remarks. Let me just say, BlackRock is the world's largest asset management firm. $9 trillion assets under management. This is the CEO talking about Bitcoin, talking about crypto. From a short-term headline, this is bullish. And I think a lot of people are just kind of like, oh man, what's going on with this? Well, I want to point out, it's not doing anything to Bitcoin price. I just want to point that out. And that is fine. That is completely fine, because this isn't so much a short-term meaningful headline. This is a long-term meaningful headline. And in this video, I want to discuss the impact of this particular headline. And I want to just point out, you might see this floating around a little bit. I saw this from Bitcoin Magazine. $10 trillion BlackRock CEO Larry Fink calls, and I crossed out Bitcoin. He said calls Bitcoin digitized gold on live television because they didn't call Bitcoin digitized gold. Did say Bitcoin is an international asset, but called crypto digitized gold on live television. Let's take a look and let's talk about this.
And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold in many ways. It's
crypto digitizing gold.
Instead of investing in gold as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the onerous problems of any one country, or the devaluation of your currency, whatever country you're in. Let's be clear, Bitcoin is an international asset.
Bitcoin is an international asset. Now, just from my perspective as I'm viewing this, I get the sense that I don't think he meant to say crypto. I want to say that right off the bat. I think he means it. I think he thinks that, crypto being kind of this digitized gold. But I think his narrative in this entire interview was supposed to be Bitcoin. I think he slipped and he mentioned crypto. But I think he does think that. I just think this is supposed to be focused on Bitcoin. He mentioned crypto, which I think is awesome. And I think BlackRock does have specific interests outside of Bitcoin, which is why he mentioned crypto. But I have the sense he was supposed to stay on topic, which is Bitcoin. And you can kind of see him pivoting. And I feel like I saw him thinking about that as he's saying crypto. He meant to say Bitcoin. But he does say Bitcoin is an international asset. Now, let's talk about this. So this article breaks the obvious down, right? He's suggesting U.S. regulators consider how an ETF directly linked to Bitcoin could democratize finance. And you get the sense in that video clip. You just saw the video clip there. Fink suggested that investors could turn to Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation or the devaluation of certain currencies. As CEO of the largest asset management firm in the world with more than $9 trillion in assets under management as of April, Fink's pro-crypto sentiment could create ripples in and out of the space. And it's very true, but there's something else happening, right? And let me just be clear. This is the same Larry Fink that called Bitcoin an index of money laundering. This is back in 2017, this headline. So I just want to be very clear about that. But here's the thing. Here's what we do know. SEC charges Coinbase. This is recent events, by the way. Before Larry Fink just went on this interview on Fox and said what he said about crypto and Bitcoin. Here's what has recently transpired within the last month or so. SEC charges Coinbase for operating as an unregistered securities exchange, right? And then weeks later, what happens? BlackRock, again, the world's largest asset management firm, BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF filing names Coinbase. They had a refile, as you know, in recent days. This was a headline from 2 days ago. Names Coinbase as surveillance sharing partner. Now, I don't know about you, everybody, but the recent events, specifically SEC going after Coinbase, and then the world's largest asset management firm, naming the same Coinbase as their surveillance sharing partner. And there's trillions of other dollars in assets under management in other firms like Fidelity that did the same exact thing, mind you. I don't know about you, but that's not good for the SEC. And I just did a video earlier today, hours ago, discussing other things that are not good for the SEC. And so I'm bringing that up right now because when I think about just the world in general, and we can think about things like government, we can think about things like regulatory agencies like the SEC, But when you think about those places and the people within those places, what runs those places? What really runs those places? It's money and it's power. And here we are, and we're watching this clip of the world's largest asset management firm, BlackRock, the CEO, really coming out with it now, coming out with this narrative. And talk about a pivot, by the way. I mean, if you look at this headline from years ago, just notice something. As Larry Fink back in the day, this was 2017, was basically throwing Bitcoin under the bus as an index of money laundering, right? Look, Bitcoin just shows how much demand for money laundering there is in the world. That was the headline in 2017. But look what was happening. I highlighted this because this is meaningful. Bitcoin prices hit a record high earlier on Friday. So Bitcoin was going crazy. Bitcoin was overvalued. At the time, I think big money, Larry Fink, BlackRock, right? They're missing out. Retail's ahead of the game. And so for whatever reason, here we are in 2023, and timing is better for them, right? It just is, in terms of the zoomed out, in terms of the macro, in terms of maybe not feeling like they're missing the boat. Timing is better for them. And all the while in the mix, we have SEC and Gary Gensler. We have them doing their thing. And we don't know all the little details and nuances of what's going on here. But I can tell you, when you have big money kind of going head to head with this regulatory agency that is stifling innovation in America, right? I think that is a very big deal. And not only that, I brought up this other article as well. This was an article from June. This is around a month ago or so. But BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says U.S. is jeopardizing dollar's reserve currency status. Now, this isn't in relation really to crypto at all. The BlackRock boss warned that the drama surrounding the debt ceiling has eroded trust in U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. I'm bringing this up for a reason as it relates to crypto. I believe we'll have a resolution, but let's be clear, the United States is jeopardizing its reserve currency status. This guy cares about these things. This guy cares about power and dominance from a monetary perspective. And so when you have someone like the SEC driving out money and driving out innovation, I think he cares in the same sense that he cares about the United States reserve currency status remaining sound, right? And so I'm bringing that up for a reason, because it really is going to be interesting to see how this narrative now of big money coming into play against and in the face of the SEC plays out. But that's the news for today in terms of Larry Fink and BlackRock. Kind of a powerful statement to be on video on Fox. We obviously already know they're bullish on crypto and Bitcoin. They're doing their thing with the ETFs and all that. We've been covering that. But to see the video clip, it's kind of a step into that next direction, right? And that's going to lead narratives when Gary's being interviewed. What does Gary think about these things? And it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out in the entire crypto space. But wanted to bring that news to you, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I really appreciate you. I do. I say that a lot, but I really mean it. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.